Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be talking about some of the goods and bads of lowering a 2015 BMW F30 chassis, 335i xDrive, was a Eibach loading springs and Dinan bump stock. Now for the Eibach loading springs, I used the rear-wheel drive option. If you go to the Eibach website, they give you two options for the loading springs. One is for the all-wheel drive, the xDrive, and the other is for the rear-wheel drive. The all-wheel drive was about a 0.8-inch drop. Wasn't so ideal for me. And the rear-wheel drive one was about a 1.5-inch in average drop, and I thought that would be an ideal. And that's what I installed in this here. And another thing to keep in mind is that this car's option was the adaptive suspension from the factory, and also riding on stock wheels. So that being said, let's jump into some of the goods. The first plus that comes to my mind is the looks. Before, prior to lowering the vehicle, this car looked like a monster truck. Because of that xDrive factor, the wheel gap was huge, and I hated it. It looked ugly, right? But this 1.5-inch drop was the Eibach's. It just transformed the whole look of the vehicle. I love it. It looks beautiful. Now let's move on to the second benefit, which is the performance. The Eibach says that these springs are about 10% stiffer than the stock, and I can vouch for that. The ride is still pretty close to stock. It is a little bit stiffer, yes, you can tell it, but it's not so much different. It's not like you're driving on coilovers. What I saw the most difference is in cornering. You do see a much less lane, much less dive in cornering. Definitely less squat while accelerating and while you're braking, and there's not as much diving going on. So it is a plus, but not a lot. So don't expect something totally different. It's gonna be close to pretty close to stock ride, and I do like that because I still haul around my family and daily drive this vehicle, so I wouldn't want this to transform to some racetrack vehicle. And then the third plus is the adaptive suspension that I've mentioned, still functional. In comfort, it's still somewhat comfortable, and in sport, it's still stiffens up, so I didn't lose that functionality. Another good is the cost, right? Compared to some of the coilover kits that I was looking at, $1,500 plus, I only spent about $400 in total for the Eibach springs and also the Dinan bump stock, and I think the money well spent there, because it didn't ruin the car, the driving, nor the looks. It benefited the driving, it also benefited the look. So I think I would do it again if I had to. So let's go to the bad now. I have to nitpick here, and it's not really for the Eibach springs nor the bump stock from Dinan. It's more like just, I guess, lowering the vehicle comes with some downsides, right? The first downside that I noticed is over potholes, it's not as compliant anymore, right? So you get a little jittery action going on, but I'm not surprised. It was expected. You are lowering the vehicle. The springs are shorter and a little bit stiffer, so you do get a little bit of a less compliance compared to the stock. So just expect that, but not a whole lot, right? Just a little bit. Another downside is when you lower your car, obviously it is gonna sit lower. You're not gonna have much room under your car, so you're gonna have to go slower when it comes to bad roads or bumps. Otherwise, you're gonna bottom out. But that's expected. It's not unique to these springs or to this car. It's in general to any lowered car. And that's pretty much about it for the bad. So just to sum it up, would I do it again? Yes, especially for the money. You can't beat this. It gave it a much better look, and it helped a little bit with the driving, with the performance. While it did bring a little bit of a downside over the potholes and stuff, is not as compliant, but it's so minor that it doesn't bother me that much. The car is just a joy to look at now, and even more inspiring to drive. And that pretty much sums it up for me. Thank you for watching this video till the end. If I missed anything or you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to hit me up on the comments, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. And until then, have a blessed day. Bye-bye.